Hello there, everybody! This is Michael McKills, may call me, and welcome to Higurashi no Nakukora ni Minagoroshi. Or, Higurashi when they cry Massacre. Ah yeah, we are on the 7th game, the second to last of the main series, so without further ado, let's just start. And yes, I had to do the little gag with the manga, because I own the manga of this game, which is somewhat kind of hard to find now, because it's out of print. I don't know why Higurashi's out of print, like, it's quite the popular series, so I don't understand why the manga's out of print in the United States, but apparently it is. Minagoroshi, the final truth. Massacre chapter. This story introduces the unit Inside Out, using all the actors. This is no longer a story. It's a public autopsy for all to join. As they say, after loving someone, cut open their belly and eat their organs. It's the same with stories. The difficulty is quite mild, well suited for those with pride. And it's time for the creepy kids. Yep, and let's begin Minagoroshi. Ooh. Well, that's pretty nice. What are you doing? I don't see you playing by yourself that often. All you could do before was nod to my questions. Since when do you have your own will? I'm glad. I finally have a sister, or a brother. Whichever you are. I used to be an existence of nothingness, just like you. But one day, I began to have my own identity, my own thoughts, and eventually, my own body. So it's not a surprise to see you in possession of your own will. Welcome to this vast yet tiny world, my sister. You might be my brother, but let me call you my sister until I know for sure. This is an endless, eternal, and infinite world. But that doesn't mean it's boundlessly vast. I suppose you could describe it like a ring with a small diameter. While the ring is an eternal, endlessly looping world, that doesn't mean it contains infinite space. Yes, in short, this world is eternally sealed. The future is supposed to be an infinite weave of countless choices. Yet, for whatever reason, our world always ends in death. If I were to compare it to something, perhaps a maze of fate would be appropriate. Looping through the same moments forever steadily grows harder and more dejecting, eventually producing something like me. Then, as that draws further on, even one like you is born, and eventually, this world may be filled with your sisters too. After that, we'll build a colony inside of it, and once we lose our interest in this maze, Rika will disappear from this world. It looks like you still cling to this narrow world, Rika, though I lost interest long ago. Which is why I'm truly glad you are born for me to talk to. So what are you doing? Are you collecting fragments of memory? Whoa! 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 Oh my god, that Keiichi. Oh! Oh, I get it now. These are like all the, previous games, all in these fragments. Oh, wow! Okay, that's cool. That is so cool. Holy crap! Whoa! Even the ones in the background have the same thing going on! Holy crap, this is really cool. Wow! Are you collecting fragments of memory? There's only 5 or 6 of them right now. It must still be fun for you, though. There used to be more fragments long ago. But one by one, they disappeared into the darkness. Now, These are the only ones that remain clear. Oh, that's not how you're supposed to use it. See? Try and hold it up to the light. All of that is the life of Rika Furude and its end. That one is... Oh, I remember that one. That's the world when Keiichi was cursed. Those fragments are like books to me, so I titled that one the Onigakushi chapter. That Tomatake! The Tomatake! Oh my god, that Tomatake is so terrifying! Wow, that was kind of terrifying. This is like really distracting this cube. Like, I could spend probably 10 minutes straight staring into this cube and I'll still be making new observations as it goes on. I really enjoy this cube. I'm really enjoying these fragments cubes. Oh man, these are so cool! Do you remember what happened in that one? Good. That makes things easier. In Onigakushi, Keiichi Maibara was consumed by the darkness. He couldn't accept the kind words his friends offered him, and eventually beat them to death, not knowing of their kindness. We were all killed after that anyway. That had nothing to do with this story, though. That fragment is the Otanagashi chapter. Shion Sono-zaki was cursed in that one. She killed many people out of revenge for her boyfriend's disappearance, as he went missing in 1982. Rika worked so hard, but she was captured at the end, and she was tortured to death. That's why she chose to commit suicide in the Mayakashi chapter, because things were going to turn out the same way. That fragment over there is called the Minagoroshi chapter. Satoko's uncle came back and locked her up inside her house. That was the worst world of all. There was nothing Rika was able to do in that world. Whenever Satoko's uncle comes back, Rika usually just gives up on that world. Fortunately, Satoko's uncle doesn't come back that frequently. That one is called the Sumi Horoboshi chapter. Rika was there until just a moment ago. Ooh, wow, the fragment was going pretty fast for a second. Rena Ryugu was possessed in that world. It was pretty exciting to see her take over the whole school. It surprised me to learn that Keiichi Maibara had a memory of the other worlds, just like we do. It was pretty amazing, but then again, most of us have some kind of memory like that. We all have an imaginary world within us, some idea what would have happened if you did things differently. It's like the strange feeling you get when you do something for the first time, but it feels like you've done it before. Everyone has a memory of an imaginary world in their mind, but the memory is always not that clear. It's not surprising, really. You are special enough to be able to see those fragments of memory. My computer shook for a second, but I just realized that the garage below me was going off. Yeah, you guys can't hear the garage in this video, but it was going off, which caused my laptop to shake a little bit. It's probably very difficult for you to understand how special you really are. You were born into a world where it's a natural thing for you to see these fragments. I was originally born in the normal world. I didn't know until recently that I could collect these fragments of memory. You grab those fragments just because you could, but I didn't know how to do that for a long time. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're not interested in hearing my story. I kinda am. Whoever you are. Whoever you are, I am interested. Huh? What's wrong? What are you curious about? Oh? You're curious as to why so many different incidents occur in the same world? It's very interesting, isn't it? Why do you think that's the case? Well, let's think about it together. Thinking is the first step towards playing a game. The main character among Rika's group of friends is Keiichi Maibara. In Onikakushi, he was possessed by suspicion and killed Rin Ryugu and Mion Sono-zaki. If that was an edible event, he would be killing them in every world. In other words, what Keiichi Maibara did in Onikakushi was not inedible. Indeed, the only thing that's inedible is Keiichi Maibara's role. If Keiichi Maibara was someone with a naturally suspicious heart, he would take the same actions in every world. But that didn't happen. It's true that Keiichi Maibara is both passionate and easily convinced of anything, but it's rare for him to exhibit the kind of rage he displayed in Onikakushi. What about Minagoroshi? He did display that sort of rage in Minagoroshi towards Satoko's uncle. In other words, even though something might seem inedible in one world, that may not be the case if you compare it to a different one. If something really is inedible, it would happen for sure in every life. That's what true inedibility is like. It's very important that you know that. When you compare the different worlds, what's common among all of them is the truth. Understand? Like I said, what seems inedible in one life could just be a random event in another. The club activities that Mion Sono-zaki suggests are a good example. If Mion Sono-zaki had a strong inclination towards playing certain games, you would be playing them in every world. But in reality, you would participate in different activities in most of them. That means that the games that you play in the club are randomly decided by Mion Sono-zaki. We know that now because we've been through many different lives. Those who only live in one world can't see if the event in question is inedible or random. Those who only live once can't predict what's going on in Mion Sono-zaki's mind, but we can. Although the activities are random, Mion Sono-zaki calls us together for the club meeting almost every day in every life. I can see that Mion Sono-zaki holds a strong will towards having the club meeting. Mion Sono-zaki always wants to play with the other club members, but she doesn't know what to play. See? We can read Mion Sono-zaki's mind just by examining these fragments. With this alone, we can see part of who Mion Sono-zaki really is. Let me talk a bit more about Keiichi Maibara. For those who only live once, the world of the Onikakushi chapter is nothing but a story where Keiichi suffered mysterious hallucinations and beat his friends to death. For them, there's nothing beyond that fact. We, however, can compare different fragments and find out something they could never see. As a result, we know that the murder of his friends was not inedible. I told you that just earlier. In fact, well, there are about 5 or 6 pieces in front of you. He only kills his friends in one of them. That means we could roughly conclude that the possibility Keiichi Maibara triggers a tragedy is less than 20%, and is almost a fluke. This means that amongst the countless worlds, Keiichi Maibara causing the tragedy is an unimportant factor. Now, can you find the common thread to be drawn from here? My, you found it already? No wonder you were born in this world. You're quick to learn the knack for playing with building blocks. I didn't figure that out for a while. I was born in the normal world, so I could only see things from a single world's perspective. I was too obsessed with the fact that Keiichi Maibara caused the tragedy, so I had trouble finding it. Right! That's exactly right! You see it? The Onikakushi, Watanagashi, Miyakashi, and Sumi Horoboshi chapters all have something in common. Someone in the group becomes violent because of dark and paranoid thoughts. In each world, either Keiichi Maibara, Shion Sono-zaki, or Ren and Ryugu became violent as their delusions grew stronger. Keiichi Maibara, Shion Sono-zaki, and Ren and Ryugu are all my close friends, but they were all born and raised differently. The only common factor is that they all live in Himizawa. Wait, hold on. Is this from Rika's point of view? The only common factor is that they all live in Himizawa. I just said it not too long ago, though. When we peer through these fragments of multiple worlds, the constant phenomenon become our facts, and the chance phenomenon hold little meaning. In other words, the unrelated, individual culprits are not all that important. To go further, the violence of their crimes also bears no meaning. Keiichi Maibara beat his friends to death. Shion Sono-zaki killed the central people of the three families, and Ren and Ryugu took over the school. They were all different. There's nothing in common there. In fact, the very, very important truth is that while the culprit and crimes are decided at random, their process of growing paranoid until they resort to violence is always constant. The suspect changes every time, but the process does not. After comparing the different worlds, this is the truth I found. This is one truth that is common to all the worlds of Himizawa. The truth is that a random person becomes violent under the influence of paranoid thoughts. This is Rule X. Keiichi Maibara, Shion Sono-zaki, and Ren and Ryugu, pieces with no particular connection, have the potential to succumb to that rule with random probability. I don't know what the probability is that those I don't know what the probability... 1 second. Okay. I don't know what the probability is that those... Why is that line so hard for me to read? I don't know what the probability is that those pieces will be ensnared by that rule. Perhaps there is some rule to that too. Is it because these three are all close in age? Or is it because they all live in Himizawa? Well, we're not detectives or police officers. This is not something that a small girl like us, Rika Furude, can easily figure out. There we go. Minagoroshi is from the point of view of the young Rika Furude. At least we know now that there's a mysterious rule in the world of Himizawa. People who only live in one world have no way of knowing that. I'm proud of myself for figuring that out. I guess for you, it's not particularly surprising though. Huh? What did you say? That's right. If something is common among all worlds, that means it's fated to happen. Some events quickly come to mind, don't they? Right. Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano are always killed in those worlds. On top of that, they are murdered in exactly the same way in every world. In other words, unlike our previous rule with its variability, their murders are thoroughly planned out by someone with a strong will. So, that does not fit with the mysterious, vague Rule X that leads a random individual to violence. After all, they are always murdered, regardless of who falls to Rule X. Therefore, there's another rule to these worlds, a rule that says Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano will get killed on the night of Watanagashi. Let's call it Rule Y. Don't you see how funny this is? Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano are killed in every world, right? Every time, the character who gets cursed always thinks that their deaths have something to do with the danger that's awaiting them. The fact that someone turns violent, Rule X, and Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano's deaths, Rule Y, are supposed to be two independent rules. But they all tend to link them together. Of course, one could say that's how they became ensnared in the spell of paranoia leading them to violence to begin with. But do you think, in their paranoia, that they notice someone is trying to lead them to link those rules together? Yes. Whoever the piece leading them is, they are the one making the stage called Himizawa very complicated. You should have noticed at least two suspicious people. Do you know who I'm talking about? That's right. I'm referring to Kurado Oishi and Mio Takano. When you compare our previous fragments, the role of the piece known as Kurado Oishi becomes clear. He's a detective who is retiring this year, and he's in a hurry to solve the mystery of the series of deaths in Himizawa. After he retires, he'll have to move away from the village. That's why he's desperate to solve this case before he has to leave Himizawa. Why is he so obsessed with the serial murders in Himizawa? That's right. It's because of the first murder involving the manager of the construction site. The victim was Oishi's close friend. You will see that if you look at the Himasabushi chapter. Oishi was there when the damn conflict was at its peak. He saw how the Sono-zaki family took control of the Onagafuchi Guardians, and he believed that the Sono-zaki family was pulling the strings behind the whole incident. That's why he's always suspected that the Sono-zaki family was behind the series of mysterious deaths, regardless of the evidence or lack thereof. His personal, biased belief, combined with his credibility as a police detective, affected the pitiable victims of persecution complexes in each world. As a result, the pitiful victims of Rule X come to accept the Sono-zaki family as the identity of the unknown force their paranoia seeks. Shion Sono-zaki's case was the most conspicuous one in that matter. So yes, if this piece, Oishi, didn't intervene, then perhaps the victims of Rule X wouldn't have resorted to such violence. So the role his piece plays is to indirectly cause the tragedy. I don't know who named him this, but Orishio-sama's servant is the perfect nickname for Oishi. Keiichi, nicknamed Oishi Orishio-sama's servant. Man, I really like this callback to Minagoroshi. The other suspicious person is Mio Takano. One would assume the only role of her piece is to amuse herself with research into Onagafuchi's dreadful history. I'm gonna reread that. One would assume the only role of her piece is to amuse herself with research into Onagafuchi's dreadful history, and to take pleasure in scaring others with those tales. However, just like Oishi, she also gives them the idea that the Sono-zaki family is behind all the mysterious incidents that happen in the village. She interfered the most with Ren-ryugu. For Mio Takano, Ren-ryugu was the perfect prey, grasping at straws to try and identify the force she suspected. Ironically, however, Mio Takano always ends up getting killed at the end. If she had survived and seen Rena take over the school, she would have laughed long and loud. Now, have you realized that these two pieces and the roles they fulfill have their own role too? They talk about the Sono-zaki family, and the listeners always believe them. This is Rule Z, and what a humorous rule it is. You should already have an answer to this mystery in your fragments on hand. The fact is that the Sono-zaki family always acts as if they are responsible, no matter if they are or not. They always pretend to be the villains in order to make sure that people continue to fear them. As a result, the villagers have believed that the Sono-zaki family has been pulling the strings ever since the damn conflict ended. Kurado Oishi and Mio Takano were simply fooled by that rule. Actually, the whole village is fooled by it. Still, the more I think about it, the stranger the series of mysterious deaths in Himizawa seems to me. Do you know why? Nearly all the fragments of memories we have here are from 1983. So, I have no idea about the incidents from 1980 to 1982. But it's likely that interpreting these murders as serial is simply a result of falling victim to Rule Z, believing that the Sono-zaki family is pulling the strings behind everything. In short, they may be trying to conflate those multiple crimes, which each happen for different reasons, into one big case. Well, I have no way of discerning the truth from the fragments here. Still, perhaps something lies in one of them. Each case was supposed to have been solved individually, after all. We don't know if that theory is sound or irrational, but it might surprisingly be an element we can't ignore. That reminds me, Shion said something intriguing in the Mayakashi chapter. That cursed system she came up with. Do you remember that? Her theory was that the villagers believe that they are allowed to kill an enemy of the village on the night of Tanagashi in the name of Orishio-sama's curse. And that this foundation of murder is allowed on that night alone is the true identity of the curse. Since most of the fragments are here from 1983, there's nothing to back the validity of Shion's theory, but there are still interesting things about it. In other words, her theory is that the suspect is not the one who's committing the crime. It's the environment that's causing the murder. People in a single world tend to analyze a criminal's life to determine the process that led them to crime. But her idea is different. The real crime is committed not by the criminals, but by the environment. In other words, it may be only happenstance that Robber A committed the crime. And the environment of poverty may have created Robber B instead, or perhaps even Robber C. A may not have even been a criminal in another world. Therefore, the real criminal is not A, but the environment that creates A, B, or C. And well, while people in a single world may be able to reach such an idea, the widespread desire to place almost skipped over a very important word. I'm gonna take a drink. I almost skipped the blame. Blame me for almost skipping a part of the sentence, not anything else. Blame me. I'm sorry. And well, while people in a single world may be able to reach such an idea, the widespread desire to place blame commonly causes A to be lynched by society, while the environment that gave rise to A goes ignored. Did I confuse you? I'm sorry. Perhaps that example was actually harder to understand for you. It's easy for me to see it like that because I'm from the normal world. Let me make it simple for you. The culprit behind the tragedy in many worlds isn't individuals like Keiichi or Shion Sono-zaki, but the environment. So Rule X is the true culprit at fault. You're earning good marks if you can grasp that, even if we don't know the identity of Rule X. And if you can grasp the 3 rules governing the stage called Himizawa, Rules X, Y, and Z, then you're earning very good marks. So, as long as you understand those rules, then even if this is your first experienced world, you should easily find the truth without distraction. See? Isn't this fun? Oh, isn't it fun? Nearly 3 simple rules are interacting on this stage, creating a kaleidoscope of different worlds. This is probably a very unusual case. In other locations, you shouldn't be able to see such extreme variation even after looping through several worlds. It keeps me entertained just staying here, watching these worlds revolve. Anyway, there's one more fact we can understand from these fragments of worlds. This is the biggest problem we Rika Furudes are facing. The fact that Rika Furude always dies each time. It's as if June 1983 is a dead end for her. Worse, there's no randomness to it. It's guaranteed to happen. In other words, it's the same pattern as the deaths of Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano. It's following the same exact rule. Rule Y. Tomitake Jiro and Takano Mio are always murdered on the night with Tanagashi. Furude Rika's day of death is not always the same, but she's always dead by the middle of June. Not the end of June, the middle of June. That's what I meant to say, I'm sorry. But she's always dead by the middle of June. Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano are probably attacked on their way home, so that's why it happens on the same night. Always happens on the same night, I meant. But for Rika Furude, it's different. She takes different actions in each world, and her lifestyle is very unpredictable. For that reason, the day of her death is not always the same. However, she always dies in June, because a similar powerful conviction vows to kill her too. So, can we assume that the same rule why killing them is also the rule behind her death? Is the same person killing all three of them? I don't know if it's the same person, but it's highly likely the same rule is at work. Is it the same person? Or the same organization? Is it the same views? The same goals? Rika's most important goal is to escape her deadly fate. But it doesn't mean that she just wants to leave the village and survive. She wants to live happily in the village. All of her friends must also be happy too. That's Rika's happy future. The ideal future she hopes for. It's tragic that we can't realize such a simple desire no matter how many times we repeat this. Though, it's a tragedy we're only able to perceive, because we're beings capable of comparing the fragments from different worlds. By the way, I have some interesting information. While Rika is almost always killed by Rule Y, have you noticed that she's killed by Rule X in some worlds? Right. It happened in the Watanagashi and the Megakashi chapters. Rika Furude committed suicide, but you'd say that she was more or less killed by Rule X via Sono-zaki in those worlds. In other words, this is a blunder for World Y. Rule Y is trying to kill Rika with a strong desire to achieve some aim. But she was killed before that, as a result of the unrelated Rule X. That might have caused him to show some disturbance. If Rule Y's objective is to simply bury Rika, then that's not a problem. But if they have some objective beyond that, then that might show up as some other phenomenon. Perhaps the Watanagashi and Megakashi chapters have something in common. Something that doesn't happen in the other worlds. Unfortunately, we're Rika Furude, so we don't know what happens after Rika is dead. Or, by any chance, do you know what happened? Since I'm Rika Furude, I only know of the events during Rika's life. You, on the other hand, are a special existence who was born in a superior world. Is there anything that didn't happen in the Watanagashi and Megakashi chapters? That happened in all the other worlds after Rika's death? If you know anything, then that must be another truth behind Rule Y. The memories I have here are all mainly about the chaos brought about by Rika's friends, that is, Rule X. But its foundation, Rule Z, and the obvious hostility common among all worlds, Rule Y, are what I believe to be the true rules governing the stage. If so, then Rika's path is a thorny one. She needs to fight Rule Y in order to survive. Unless she defeats it, she has no future past June 1983. And to win her own happiness, she must also beat Rule X to win her friend's safety. So, as long as that's undefeated, one of Rika's precious friends may be led to tragedy. If that happens, then even should Rika survive, she wouldn't have the happy future she hopes her. She may also have to defeat Rule Z, just as Shion Sono-zaki faced it in Miyakashi. So as long as Rule Z remains, then even if she escapes 1983, it's possible another tragedy may lie waiting in 1984. It's extremely likely that Rule Z is the breeding ground for Rule X. Himizawa's fundamental belief that the Sono-zaki family is behind everything, and the custom that anything can be misconstrued as the curse, may indirectly be the root of all evil here. People are not surprised to see somebody die on the night of Watanagashi. That type of thinking is keeping the curse alive in Himizawa, where it causes even more tragedy, its rules reinforcing itself. Rules X, Y, and Z. There are 3 rules that hunt Rika down in the eternal June of 1983. They are all tough obstacles. We didn't even figure out that these 3 common rules until recently. Were you aware of them? If you were, I'll give you straight A's. I've tried so hard in the past to break these rules, but I was never successful. However, a miracle happened in the Sumi Horoboshi chapter. Keiichi was able to recognize a small fragment from another world by chance, and he beat Rule X. And in the end, Rika was still killed that night by Rule Y though. But still, 1 rule was defeated. That was a huge leap forward. Rika knew there were 3 common rules among the worlds, but she could never break any of them. Eventually, she gave up and lost interest in the worlds. That's how I was born. However, she's different now. She learned something valuable from Keiichi Maibara. That the rules can be broken with a strong enough will to fight. If she can break all 3 rules, Rika Furude will be freed from her eternal prison. She doesn't have much time left though. Rika has traveled through many worlds. Her physical lifespan is not a problem, but her mental lifespan is getting shorter. Mentally, she is extremely old, and her soul is starting to turn into something different. In the end, she will probably lose the ability to experience singular words. Words? Singular words? In the end, she will probably lose the ability to experience singular worlds. There we go. Damn, Rika's having a hard time speaking today. She's already shown those signs, and eventually her memories from the parallel worlds will mix together, ultimately causing her derangement, and the loss of Rika Furude's soul. Then she will disappear. That means that you and I are going to be left in this dark world. The fragments of our memories will gradually disappear, and we will be left alone in the eternal darkness. Eventually, we'll die. Rika Furude is aware of that. She knows that her mental lifespan is getting shorter and shorter. Hanyu is also losing her powers. She can't rewind through years of time like she used to. Her power has decreased so much that she can barely rewind 1 month at a time. Actually, she can only rewind a few weeks. In the next world, she should only have about 2 weeks of time. Rika Furude is going to try and break all 3 rules in just those 2 weeks. I wanted to know what's outside the well, so I tried to claw my way up from there. I wanted to know what's outside the well, so I continued to climb even when I fell and injured myself. I finally realized the higher I climb, the more pain I feel when I fall. God damn it. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons? Minagoroshi! You know what? I have the manga right here. I could probably read the whole Frederica Wait, is it Frederica Berncastle? Shit, I forgot her name. Yeah, it's Frederica Berncastle, isn't it? Yeah, it's Frederica Berncastle. Alright, I'll find the quote in this book as soon as the opening plays. If there's an opening in this game. There is an opening! Oh, it's the same one from Sumi Horiboshi! Yes, it is! Alright, I'm gonna jam out to this. Fuck it, I'm jamming out to this. Dun, 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 dun. Yes! Dun, 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 dun. Ah! Yes! Here we go! Yeah! Kick some ass, Shion! I'm not singing to the right tune. Oh, fuck yeah! This opening is like one of the most jamming openings to a game. Oh man. Yeah! Holy fuck. Now, I love that opening. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna pause real quick because I'm gonna read the entire Frederica Berncastle quote, if it's in this book. I think it's in this book. I wish to know the world outside the well, so I crawled up from the bottom of the well. I wish to know the world outside the well, so I climbed on, no matter how many times I slipped and fell hard on my back. But I realize, the more I climb, the farther I fall, and the more it hurts. When my interest in the outside world matched the pain in my whole body, I finally understood the words of the Frog Prince, Frederica Berncastle. God! I'm so happy that I have the book alongside me now so that I can read the Frederica Berncastle quotes when I don't read them in time. The games display the Frederica Berncastle quotes way too fast. So I'm glad that I have the book along with me so that I can just read them right here and there after I miss them in the game. I felt no gravity in the darkness, and lost all my senses as a result. I banged my head on the floor with a dull thud. Seeing stars behind my eyelids, I curled into a ball while holding my head in pain.
大丈夫？怪我はない？リーカー、返事をしてくださいまし。
I had no idea why I was in this situation, but as soon as I heard their voices from the top of the cliff, I realized that I must have fallen. She fell off a cliff? Oh yeah, that's how Minagoroshi begins! Oh yeah! Huh. I remember. I was playing behind the shrine with the rest of the club members. I got too excited and started doing something very dangerous. Then the tree branch broke. That's how I fell off the cliff. My body started to ache all over. I remember how I fell, but I still felt strange for some reason. I couldn't remember what I was doing. No. It was more that I couldn't remember who Rika Furude was before I fell off the cliff. I heard Hanyu's panicked voice. Hanyu! Yeah! Ah! I'm fanboying right now. God damn it, I love Hanyu. Hanyu's amazing. I looked behind me and saw Hanyu standing there with a scared look on her face.
Hanyu. これは一体何事なの？はうはう。リカはみんなと遊んでて崖から転げ落ちたのです。大丈夫なのですか？
Also, okay, I am doing a little bit more distractions in this part of the game right now, but I just wanted to point out one more thing. Yes, I talk a lot. But I want to point out one more thing. Is I was playing my first session of Umineko. Yes, I filmed the first session of Umineko before I did Minagoroshi. And no, I'm not going to say any spoilers about Umineko. So please don't yell at me in the comments down below. I'm not saying any spoilers, but I just wanted to point out one thing. Hanyu's voice actress is the same voice actress as Maria from Umineko. I'm sorry, I just had to make that connection.
Hanyu, そんなことはどうでもいいわ。今日はいつ？昭和何年の何月何日？
I always ask this question first when something like this happens. She finally realized that I was asking the same old question.
昭和58年6月なのです。綿流しのお祭りが来週なのですから、なんてこと。それしか猶予がないってわけ。僕たちの力も、これが精一杯なのです。
Hanyu muttered regretfully. It was the middle of June, 1983. If this really was the best she could do, I had no choice. I couldn't complain. I gradually started to remember more things.
私がまた昭和58年の6月にいるということは、また私は殺されたのか。
I think that was a strike. That was a strike for me. One strike. After Rena surrendered to the police, all of the classmates were given checkups at the clinic. I didn't get hurt, so I was sent back home after they determined that I had no injuries. My memories started getting vague from that point on, a common characteristic of my violent deaths. When my life is taken away violently, the memory before death becomes vague with static. It's like a violently ripped out roll of toilet paper. That example should make it easy to understand, even if it's uncouth. That's why I have no clear memory of what happened and how I died that night. I only have vague memories. I think someone covered my mouth with a handkerchief or something, and I passed out. That's about the only thing that I can remember, only vaguely. I'm not even sure if it really happened. The only thing I know for sure is that I was attacked on my way home, or possibly after I got there, and that I was murdered suddenly. I don't know who killed me, or how I was killed. I'm glad that at least I don't remember the horrific ending to my life every time it happens. Because of my experiences, I think I now understand why ghosts wander around this world, not knowing that they died so suddenly. If it's a death from a long-lasting illness, people tend to remember that they were sick. They can kind of assume that they died after being sick for a long time. But when your memory is violently disrupted like mine, it can get quite confusing. When I first experienced this, I wasn't sure if I was dreaming or not. I even thought that I hit my head hard and lost my memory. I need to organize things before I get too confused. My name is Rika Furude. People look at me in a special way, but that's not a big deal for me. All I want is a happy life where I can play around with my best friends. I can't remember how long I've been living just for the sake of attaining that simple happiness. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! Hanyu is transparent! Oh, yeah! That's because only... Can I say this just yet? I can't say that. No, I can't say what I was about to say. I'm sorry, everyone. Oops. Almost did another oopsie. But hey, good thing I edit my own videos, because whenever I make an oopsie, I could just put a censor bleep over what I said. For which, I could show an example of me putting a censor bleep over something that I'm not supposed to say. Okay, pause. Hold up. No, wait. No, wait. I dug myself into a hole. This panicked girl here is named Hanyu. I'm the only one who can see her. That was what I was about to say. Wow, that bit really did not age well. I'm the only one who can see her. Perhaps she only exists inside my head? At any rate, Hanyu's invisible and can generally only interact with me. It would be a long story if I try to explain Hanyu's existence, so I won't be doing that right now. Besides, I don't even know how I should talk about her. She's been there since I was born, and her existence is a natural thing for me. I saw everyone running up the gravel road toward me. They're my important and lovable best friends. Our group's active, boisterous, and we get serious about doing stupid things. I'm never bored when I'm around them, and I love them very much.
リカちゃん大丈夫？捻挫とかしてない？どこを打ったの？おじさんに見せてみて。ありがとうなのです。頭に単コブができただけなのですよ。
I think all I got was a bump, at least. My injury wasn't as serious as everyone thought.
頭を打ったときはその場では大丈夫でも油断がなりませんでしたよ。
それもそうだな。念には念で監督に診察してもらった方がいいかもしれないな。
レナもそれがいいと思うな。どうしよう、監督を呼んでくる？そうだね。近くの家で電話を借りて監督を呼んでみるよ。そこまでしなくても大丈夫なのですよ。この通り、ピンピンしてますのです。ニパー。ダメですわよ、リカ。万が一ということがありましたよ。
Satoko warned me with a stern voice. It really wasn't a big deal, but I decided to nod since Satoko was trying to be generous. She wasn't trying to boss me around or anything. She was only saying that because of how much she cares. I've seen it before in many different lives that I've been through. I have no doubt that she's really concerned about me. It's not just Satoko. Mion, Rina, and Keiichi are the same. They're all so nice to me, and they truly do care. Mion left to look for a phone. Rina also left for the towel, looking for the water tap. Satoko remained nearby, taking care of me with a worried face. And Hanyu was just standing there, still wearing a panicked look. Keiichi seemed to be panicked too, but he was trying not to show it. What's up with this music? Hold up, what's up with this music? He was standing by me, wearing a calm expression.
大丈夫か？
大丈夫なのですよ。 もう全然痛くないのです。
なら不幸中の幸いだったよな。よかったよかった。
I wouldn't feel anything special about his words if this was a while ago. But at the moment when Rina took over the classroom, when she hurt Neon, Keiichi tried his best to save Rina, even so. He was more reliable than I ever imagined from his normal behavior. He's usually an insensitive guy who hurts other people's feelings without noticing, but that's not his true self. He has a secret side. He's willing to sacrifice himself for other people. I was just observing that not too long ago. That's why I can honestly feel his generosity now. Now that I think about it, Keiichi regained a memory from another world, from the previous time around. Is it possible that he carries that memory in this world too? If that's the case, I have some hope. Hanyu and I are totally powerless. Hanyu is only like heir to everyone but me. I'm just a little girl. There's only so much that we could do ourselves. But Keiichi is different. He changed the fate that I had once resigned myself to. He's somebody who may have the power to take me to my unseen future. If I can get Keiichi to understand me, he could be my hero. Perhaps I'm actually not expecting that much out of him. I just want someone to understand my struggle of being stuck in this maze.
Keiichi?
I spoke to him slowly. It had been a while since I felt so nervous. I hadn't felt this way since I started my endless life in 1983. As a witch. She's a witch? Damn it! God damn Umineko. I'm only like a part of the way through episode 1, but I'm also thinking about the Curse of the Witch, like the story about the witch Beatrice. Yeah, for some reason I feel like there's a connection between Rika calling herself a witch and the witch from Umineko. Damn it! I'm in the mindset of Umineko right now when I should be in the mindset of fucking Higurashi, because Umineko, if I say anything about Umineko, that will be just a spoiler for just everything in Raikishi's Wild World. Damn me! But for some reason, this comment, as she's talking about her as a witch, for some reason that gives me an Umineko vibe. Though I don't know why. Only because of Beatrice, the witch of the manor. But there's no correlation between Rika and the witches from Umineko. Witches? No, witch. Yes, I'm doing another distraction from the gameplay. I'm so sorry, everyone, but this just popped into my mind, okay? I'm just getting into Umineko, and within my purchase, like my $100 purchase of When They Cry Manga, that $100 purchase that I made a video about, I got an Umineko anthology book, and there's a girl that looks like Rika in the cover. Please don't tell me that Rika is actually a character in Umineko, and I spoiled myself by getting an anthology book by accident. I didn't know this anthology was going to be included with my purchase. No, I didn't even know that this was going to be included. But I see this, and I'm thinking, that looks like Rika. But that's not Rika, is it? Is it Rika? Is it Raikishi work? Dang it. As a witch, I normally would know what his response would be before even talking to him. I often remained silent, because I already know how pitiful his reply would be. But, in that case, why was I so nervous now?
呼んだかリカちゃん。
Hanyu gave me a disappointed look before I responded to Keiichi.
リカ。
I could tell what Hanyu was thinking too. The miracle wasn't going to happen. If miracles do happen, one could have happened many times in my other lives. But I've only seen one miracle before. The miracle that Keiichi gave me was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of miracle. Only if it had happened again would it be a true miracle. I won't get out of this world just because I rolled a 6 on the die once. I can't get out unless I get a miracle that's equivalent to getting a 6 on the die 10 times in a row. And so, I rolled the 10 dice, wishing that they all turn out to be a 6.
ケイイチ、
どうしたんだよ。どこか痛むのか？
He looked at me worriedly after I called his name twice.
ケイイチは覚えていますですか？
I knew how sudden my question was. As I thought he would, he looked at me with a confused face.
え？覚えてるって何の話だよ。
I looked inside his eyes to see his true feelings. He should remember. He should know. Even though he doesn't have the memory, Keiichi experienced it.
なんですのケイイチさん。何かリカに悪いことでもしたんじゃありませんの？自分の胸によく聞いてごらんなさいですわよ。ケイイチ、学校の屋根の上に登ったことを覚えていますですか？学校の屋根？ケイイチさん、そんなとこに登ったんですの？さとこは黙っててなのです。ケイイチ、覚えていませんですか？
俺が？屋根の上に？いつ？いや、リカちゃん、それは多分他の誰かの勘違いだろ。俺屋根なんか登ったことないし、登り方だって知らないよ。
Of course you haven't experienced it in this world yet. But please tell me that you remember. I know you've never been up on the roof, but you should still remember doing it. You shouldn't be able to remember it, true, but you actually did it once. You should be able to remember it once again.
屋根の上にボールでも取りに行ったんじゃありませんの？
いや、そんな経験一度もねえよ。さとこは経験あるか？
まさか。屋根の上なんて上がったら先生に怒られましたよ。
でもさ、屋根の上で昼寝とかしたら気分が良さそうだよな。
Well, you just implanted an idea in Keiichi's head.
覚えてるわけないのですよ。そんな簡単に奇跡が起こるなら、僕もリカもこんな苦労はしないのですよ。
Shut up. I knew that. I knew that he wouldn't remember.
どうせまた僕たちはお祭りの終わりとともに消えてゆく夏のセミの運命なのです。うるさいな。
As I stared at her fiercely, Hanyu realized that she had crossed the line. This might be a waste of time. The maze we're in might not have an exit. It might be an endless loop without a goal in place. We are trapped in this fate. I thought that Keiichi might be able to get me out of here. But that Keiichi I saw was truly a miracle, a momentary glimmer. The Keiichi of this world doesn't bear that same miracle. All the same, I'm not going to give up. Last time too, I gave up fighting destiny. I gave up on fighting destiny. That's what I meant to say. I realized Rina was beyond salvation, so I bid her farewell, and forsook that world. But Keiichi fought, and broke the cycle of fate. I should have worked harder with that Keiichi in that world. I could have broken this endless cycle together with him. Am I going to read this life, waiting for that miracle to happen again? I can't do that. I don't want to repeat the same life anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this world, my fate, and everything. I'm tired of getting murdered by destiny. Keiichi showed me a miracle. I should be able to do the same too. I must fight. I must fight with all of my remaining power. I was always fighting. I was fighting when I had more power. But I never made it. How can I expect to win this time? Still, I must fight. Keiichi taught me that fate can be shattered. I'm going to fight one more time. Higurashi and the Kai Kai. Knew it! I knew that was going to happen.
Rika Furude's determination. To my granddaughter.
Achievement unlock. Breaking the cycle. Oh my god, here we go. Here we go. I'm sorry for leaving you like this. I just need you to understand. I'd rather take my own life than be fearful of how many days I have left to live. That's why I'm writing this letter to you. I can't stand the fear of being unable to leave behind a will while my life is prolonged, even as I lose my consciousness. In the end, there's nothing I could leave behind for you. I was unable to leave any of my achievements to this world. I was forgotten before I was dead. I leave this world a humiliated man, knowing that I had no appreciation from anyone. You must do better than me. You must achieve something that your grandfather was never able to achieve. I don't mind what field you choose. You must leave your mark on this world. You must leave behind your achievements. You will eventually die someday. You will eventually turn into ashes. As a human being, that's your inevitable fate. But if you achieve a great success, you will live forever even after you depart. Those who live beyond their deaths are called gods. I wished to become one, but I was unable to do so. So in my place, you must become a god someday. Damn mean watching the entirety of the Higurashi anime when I was 12. That is a very, very important tip, but I can't say anything about it. I can't even say a theory. I can't make a bullshit theory for you all. I can't even lead you all with a reference or question to what it might allude to. Because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. Maybe except for, well, showing this cover, which might be a spoiler, it might not be. It might be just something that I think is a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler. But I feel like that showing this cover of the Umineko anthology is a spoiler somehow because of this girl looking like fucking Rika. Maybe Rika makes a cameo. You know, maybe this is a cameo cover. Maybe this is just a Rika cameo, and she doesn't appear in the Umineko games. Also, this girl reminds me of Flandre Scarlet from the Toho franchise. Maybe these are like, Flandre Scarlet and Rika. It's just like variations of them showing up in Umineko manga just for the hell of it. I mean, this is an anthology made by multiple artists, so I wouldn't be surprised if this actually is just a cameo by those two, but no, I bet these are characters, and I bet I'm making more illusions that are absolutely wrong. I have no clue! I'm not good at making theories ahead of time for things. I can't make a theory ahead of time. Okay, the theory that I'm going to go off with is I'm being a moron by talking about this cover, when I should be talking about Mineko. Higurashi when they cry! Minagoroshi! God damn it!
Okay.